The man who moves with definiteness recognizes the power of his own mind, and others feel it even though they do not understand it.
There is something profoundly rare about a man who has discovered his core. He doesn't need to speak to command the room. His presence alone alters the air. Not because of his title, looks, or charm, but because of something deeper, his aura. It's the silent broadcast of who he truly is, not his performance, but his essence. And that aura can either be his greatest advantage or his greatest liability. Your aura breathes your identity. It's not built on pretense, but on reality. When purified through relentless discipline, forged in quiet commitment, and sharpened by unshakable vision, it becomes a force too powerful for most people to handle. But don't be intimidated by that power. Be inspired. Your aura isn't something to hide for the comfort of others. It's something to master, refine, and unleash. People may admire your talent, praise your work, or celebrate your accomplishments, but what they truly remember is your energy, your presence. That presence, the kind that lingers after you've left, is not accidental. It's forged in silence, in the moments when you keep pushing through, when you choose grace in the face of criticism, when you choose purpose over ease. That's how it's built, in study, in restraint, in repetition. Every action, every choice, every silence, every movement transmits something. And every day you must ask yourself, what am I radiating? Am I projecting fear or faith, confidence or insecurity, conviction or doubt? Because the world doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you emit. And here's the truth. You can't fake frequency. You can't fake alignment. You can wear the suit, say the words, flash the smile, but if your energy is off, the room will feel it. And so will you. The strongest aura is not the loudest. It is the most aligned. Noble, still grounded in truth, rooted in purpose, shaped through self-mastery, not arrogance. Most men never reach this level of presence because they're too busy performing for the crowd instead of preparing in private. They crave applause but lack personal approval. But the moment you no longer need validation to move, when you can walk quietly, live deliberately, and smile without the need to be seen, that's when your aura ascends. That's when people sense something in you they can't explain, but can't ignore. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You need to be clear about who you are, what you stand for, what you allow, and what you don't. Clarity eliminates confusion, and clarity always threatens the confused. As your presence deepens, some will misunderstand you. They'll label you cold, distant, arrogant. Don't let their projections derail your progress. You've already wasted too much time shrinking. Your aura isn't for mass consumption. It was never meant to make everyone comfortable. In fact, your radiance will disturb those unwilling to face themselves, and that is not your burden. That is their opportunity. This is not your moment to dim. This is your time to shine. And shining doesn't mean pretending. It means becoming. It means being as strong in solitude as you are in the spotlight. It means keeping promises no one sees. Saying no when yes would be easier. Honoring the vows you make to yourself even when no one claps for them. That kind of integrity builds something untouchable. A force field. An energetic armor forged in fire, invisible but undeniable. That's what makes your aura magnetic. Energy doesn't lie, but alignment speaks even louder. When you are living on purpose, you won't need to introduce yourself. You won't need to explain. When you enter the room, the atmosphere will shift because your aura won't just represent who you are. It will reveal who you've chosen to become. And few people will ever understand what it took to earn that kind of presence. The pain that shaped it, the failures that fed it, the sacrifices that formed it. It was built in the delay, in the fire, in the struggle. And the more you've endured, the less you try to impress. You just are. You are stable, centered, grounded. Your calm becomes louder than noise. Your stillness is more powerful than performance. And no, you don't need to apologize for that presence. You don't need to apologize when your silence confuses them, when your standards expose their laziness, when your clarity disrupts their chaos. You're not here to make them comfortable. You're here to be in alignment, to live refinedly, to vibrate higher, not hustle harder. If you keep guarding your thoughts, protecting your peace and staying loyal to your higher calling, you'll experience a truth few ever reach. Your aura will start working for you. It will go before you, speak louder than your words, attract the right people, open the right doors and manifest the right outcomes. Not because you're louder, but because you're aligned. Not because you're trying harder, but because you've finally become whole. To walk fully in your presence means to arrive with nothing to prove and everything to contribute. It's to bring with you a silence that teaches, a stillness that transforms, and a peace so grounded that no circumstance can shake it. When you become that man, you'll stop worrying about how to attract what you want, because it will begin to follow you. Your aura always leads. It moves before your words, before your work, before your skill or title. It is the total of your energy, your integrity, your clarity, and your consistency. And when those align, the world has no choice but to respond. People feel you before they understand you. They sense your confidence long before they know your credentials. That's why what you carry inside matters far more than what you display outside. Your aura reveals the truth of your inner world. If your mind is scattered or your soul compromised, your presence will be disoriented. Energy becomes distorted when priorities are betrayed. That's why personal power always begins with private cleansing, because only a purified mind and soul can radiate the kind of aura that turns heads and shifts atmospheres. You cannot lead externally if you're fractured internally. You cannot expect respect while silently disrespecting yourself. You cannot ask the world to value you while you're negotiating your own worth behind closed doors. A real, unshakable aura requires brutal honesty, the kind of self-examination that breaks you open, the kind of courage that walks away from everything that doesn't fit your higher self. Because an aura isn't a performance, it's the natural expression of alignment. It's what you radiate when you stop pretending and start living as the man you've been quietly building, not to impress, but to be. It's not about appearing strong. It's about being fully present, without apology, without approval. Because you did the work. You faced the lies. You stood in the storm. You paid the price. And now you carry that weightless authority. Not everyone will like it. Many won't understand it, but even your critics will respect it. Because real energy doesn't ask for permission. It simply is. And this kind of presence, it's made of standards. Not standards that change with who's watching, but principles forged in solitude, tested by fatigue, and sustained by integrity. They don't bend under pressure. They're not built for applause. They're built to endure. Your aura is emotional control. It's staying calm in conflict, grounded in chaos, and clear in confusion. Not because you suppress your emotions, but because you've mastered them. It's confidence, not the loud, insecure kind that fears silence, but the quiet, unshakable kind that knows its place in the world. It comes from knowing who you are, what you bring, and why you're here. Most importantly, your aura is fueled by vision. Without vision, your energy has no direction, your movements have no meaning, and your life will be drained chasing things that were never yours to begin with. Vision turns every step into strategy, every word into intention. Every room is an opportunity to elevate. People feel that. They notice the difference between a man with noise and a man with purpose. One is loud, the other is legendary. Ordinary men hope to be accepted, but a man with vision centers to serve, to lift, to lead, not for validation, but because he's on assignment. And the truth is, you're not for everyone, and that is your power. You weren't meant to fit into every space, every conversation, every circle. The average mind shouldn't be able to digest you. You weren't designed to be understood by everyone. Your purpose will naturally disturb the insecure, and when that happens, you'll be given a choice: to shrink or to shine, to blend in or to stand out, to water yourself down or to walk in truth. If you want to walk in rare power, you must accept being misunderstood. Stop explaining your evolution to people still loyal to their comfort zones. Stop shrinking for people who've never met someone like you. Your frequency will make others uncomfortable, but that's not your burden, that's their opportunity. Do not fold. Do not flinch, own your frequency. Because your aura isn't just about you. Others are watching. Others are learning from how you walk, how you speak, how you carry yourself. Your presence challenges them to raise their standards. Don't dim that light. Don't rob the world of your radiance just to make it more comfortable. Guard your energy. Protect it with your words, your schedule, your emotions, and your thoughts. You can't lead while thinking like the masses. You can't inspire the world while speaking its language. Every habit, every interaction, Every decision must represent the man you're becoming. That's how you preserve power. That's how you walk with weight. Solitude sharpens this edge. You must get away from noise, away from influence, away from opinion, because in stillness you realign. You remember who you are. You reconnect with the truth that everything you need is already within. Solitude doesn't isolate you. It strengthens your aura. Boundaries are essential. Not to punish, but to protect. Not every request deserves your time. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every door should be walked through. The man with the aura doesn't move because he's invited. He moves because he's aligned. And above all, your energy must be protected on purpose. When your eyes are fixed on something greater, you stop sweating. You stop reacting to nonsense. You stop chasing claps. You ascend. You elevate. And every time you rise above the noise, you build your aura. Because at some point it stops being about people-pleasing and becomes about world-shaping. Remember, people don't follow volume. They follow vision. They follow clarity. They follow the man who lives his truth, speaks with purpose, and stands unshaken in silence. That man is you. You're not here to blend in. You're not here to imitate. You are not a performer. You are a standard bearer. You are calm, serious, and focused. Walk like it, speak like it, think like it. And the right people will rise with you. The right doors will open. The right outcomes will follow, not because of what you're doing, but because of who you are. This is the secret. Your aura isn't built by striving. It's built by becoming. When you truly become the man you were born to be, your energy will speak for you. It will go before you. It will protect you. It will draw what you no longer have to chase. Because your aura is not just your energy, it is your destiny in motion. Alignment always affects fate. If it hasn't already dawned on you, one day you'll realize that the way people treat you has less to do with your appearance, your titles, or your eloquence, and everything to do with your energy. You'll begin to see that respect walks into the room before you speak, simply because you've become it. You'll feel the silent shift when others gravitate toward you, not from fear or hype, but because something in you says, here stands a man who knows exactly who he is. That knowing, that conviction, that unshakable inner ground, is the architecture of your aura. It's an invisible force field, not inherited, not bought, and not borrowed. It must be built, decision by decision, moment by moment. You build it by showing up when it's inconvenient, by remaining silent when your ego wants to speak, by choosing forgiveness when vengeance would feel good, by holding your standards even when no one understands why. These choices, daily, quiet and thankless, form your character, and character is what shapes your presence. Men speak, but only those who carry something change the world, those who bring calm into chaos, who see clearly when others are blind, who hold light in thick air. The purpose of your aura is not decoration, it's direction, not to impress but to ignite, not to perform but to embody. Your words may fade, your actions may be forgotten, but how you made others feel, the emotional gravity of your presence, will echo. And when your aura is real, crafted in silence, forged in discipline, soaked in truth, it leaves a mark on everyone it touches. The strange thing is, the stronger your presence becomes, the more your absence will be felt. People will crave your energy, even if they don't understand why. But if you're not careful, you'll start pouring yourself into people and places unequipped to carry you. You'll drain yourself trying to heal those committed to staying broken. And that's not your mission, it's your weakness in disguise. Weak boundaries will exhaust you faster than your purpose ever could. So hear this clearly. You must guard your energy with spiritual discipline, not arrogance. Protect it not with pride, but with principle. Avoid everything that fractures your clarity. Stay far from anyone who disturbs your peace. Distance yourself from every distraction, habit, or compromise that would dull your edge. Because a clean aura, one rooted in truth, attracts only what was destined for you and repels what was never meant to stay. When you understand this, the chase ends. No more explanation, no more begging to be seen. You'll simply walk into the room and be. You'll live in such alignment that you vibrate on a frequency few understand, but many feel. And understand this deeply. Your aura was never designed for popularity. It was made for purpose. And the purpose isn't always pretty. It often isolates. It makes others uncomfortable. It may cost you friends, opportunities, and applause, but you won't lose your soul, and that's the real win. Because success isn't the noise around you, it's the calm within. Not your image, but your impact. Not how loud your name is, but who you became when no one was watching. You don't become this man by accident. Devotion shapes him. Invisible labor builds him. A commitment to your higher self, your unwavering code, your greater mission, that's what sets you apart. Rare men walk on different wavelengths. They don't engage in gossip. They don't drown in trivial pursuits. They don't argue to be understood. They move in silence. They know themselves. They walk with legacy in mind, not likes. They don't react. They respond. They don't rush. They move in rhythm. They don't dominate. They lead with gravity, calm, composed, certain. Not because they're emotionless, but because they've conquered themselves. That is the real battle. Not against men, but against the man in the mirror. You are powerful when you can hold your peace in a hostile space. When you can absorb insult without retaliation. When you choose solitude over superficial validation. When you serve without needing applause. Then you are becoming the man whose presence speaks louder than words. A man who doesn't flaunt his strength because his presence whispers it with every breath. If you carry this energy, truly carry it, the right people will find you. You won't need to seek. You won't need to chase. They will recognize you by how their nervous system calms around you. They'll feel the safety, the certainty, the stillness. That's the reward of silent mastery. You see, the world praises noise, but it's silence that builds legacies. The man who endures the quiet work, who does what others won't, earns a gravity that cannot be ignored. The unshakable man carries that gravity. He doesn't leave a legacy, he lives it. In his walk, in his tone, in the quality of his silence, in the strength of his standards, in his ability to be still while others scramble for validation. When your aura is built on truth, the world begins to bend around you. Pressure no longer breaks you. Resistance becomes fuel. You become the anchor. And when you shine from that place, not in arrogance but in wholeness, you lead. You lead not by pushing but by pulling, not with control but with clarity, not through performance but through presence. This is the truth no one teaches, but I'm telling you now, you don't need to become more. You need to become clear. Clear in your values, clear in your energy, clear in your voice, because clarity is power. And once your aura is clear, you become unstoppable. So carry it. Tell the truth even when it costs you. Hold the light even when it's heavy. Maintain your discipline, especially when no one's watching. Guard your peace like a warrior. And remember, those who can't handle you weren't meant to, but those who were meant to, they will rise to meet you, because your aura, when it is pure, aligned and protected, awakens strength in others. That is your greatest gift. Be that mirror. Be present. Be consistent. Let your life speak what words cannot. The world isn't listening to your noise. It's feeling your energy. And if you build it right, that energy will echo far beyond your presence. Let it speak, let it lead. Let it transform everything.